Okay, thank you. Thank you. Welcome back from our break. And we want to continue where we left off. Edwin told us that he volunteered in building and construction industry, and that really helped Edwin because where he was working, and he still works in the same area, he was promoted into a position of a manager because of giving himself. He volunteered himself being mtu wa mkono. You know, by then, wewe haukuwa mfundi wa mawe, ulikuwa tu mtu wa mkono. That is the term in mtaa, mtu wa mkono. But you gained a lot of experience in the area of mjengo, and today you can still give you can give advice, and it has helped you in your own career, understanding the way sewage system works properly because of giving yourself from mjengo. So, Brian, you are still in school.
Yeah.
Do you have a side hustle yourself?
Yes, I do.
Okay, can you explain to us that?
Okay, thank you for the chance. What I can say about the side hustling and at the same time schooling is about the mentality of one person, how you view things. In life, when you have been born as one person, and you must face life the way it is. So what comes in along the way is that how do you approach those situations that comes along the way? First, I can say schooling partly is not easy, and at the same time hustling is not easy. Because when you are in school, what you do learn, it's totally different than what you are going to practice as hustling. And for that matter, you must adjust to those changes that you are coming along from the field. Like for example, I personally, I like designing things. And that is what I like doing most as part of my hustling. And that is the situation where I talk about value and money. What do you bring after the situation you have come through? Because most of these youth today, they value a lot money, not the worth of that job they are doing. And that is what brings monotony in most of the this field that people are working on. Because when we want to start working, for example, you have been employed in one place or another. For example, the way Edwin said that he volunteered. Others will not accept that volunteer in their company or in their working jobs. But they will want somebody who has an experience on the same. But personally, I can say that I'm all-rounded person. Because when I'm in school, I do what people do in school. When I'm outside, I do what people can do outside. And that makes me to become an easy person. I don't find it difficult to transit to the next level or transit to the next work because I have just trained my mind on doing the same. And when I want to urge these youths who will be watching this, is that most of the time when we think that we are in school, we are, for example, personally, I'm studying, I'm a teacher, pursuing maths and business, and at the same time I'm an auditor.
Yes.
So when I come outside there, designing and auditing and maths teaching, they don't tally up. They are totally relevant things when put together. And what we should do when you come outside there, just be open-minded. Think along the box, think outside the box, so that in any case, you will get something that seeks to be along what you wanted to do in life. You will find it easier to chip in or to do what you are intended to do. And to narrow it down, I can tell these youth that life is not an easy journey, the way he said earlier. And what you should do, just make sure what you have small within the surrounding, you make it to your perfection. So that anybody, any person who will take you to the next level may see you that this person indeed has something, rather than just as a person who may loiter in, out from the state, so that tomorrow you will be seen in one area to the next day to the next area without a common goal. So my advice and my comment to this, is our youths, we should be active. We should be reliable. We should have a time when we are serious and a time when there is no jokes. Because others, our employers outside there, they see what we do, not what we did in the school.
Yes.
Yes, and what we can do, that makes us of a great nation tomorrow. Yes. So it is just a matter of how best can you do manual or practical thing.
Yes.
You should not be reliable to your books or to what you studied, rather than what you should be practicing along the field.
Yes.
Because in the field, things are different. The way they say graph vision is different. So actually, I know and I've experienced this. Even though we are studying, when you are out of school, you should not be 100% reliable to your, or your parents should not be much of your support. They should not support you in anything, like buying even handkerchief, buying phones, things like that. You should be an open-minded person, so that these small things that they seem to be minute, but they have some implication. When a parent sees you that indeed I have a son or I have a daughter who at the end of the day has something small, even though it is not what he intended, but that's something small.
Yes.
Yes, thank you.
All right. I want to ask Sheila something. Did you work when you were still in school, or you started working when you left school?
I worked when I was still in school. I underwent attachment and did a few jobs here and there. Okay, because you see, as one of us had mentioned, skill development is very important. So where you purpose to go, that elephant that you're looking at, those little rabbits, the little jobs you get, the little opportunities you get to study, they really amount to much. Because you see, nowadays, companies do not look for half-baked individuals. You see, employers look at campus leavers or high school leavers as people who only know theoretical knowledge of what should be done, but they do not have the practical knowledge of it. So what they look for is that added advantage. You see? So if there are several people applying for, say, secretariat position in a company, but there is someone who did a CPS somewhere, or someone who took a diploma in secretariat, or someone who has a computer package certificate, that person will get it, because that is an extra added advantage. Someone who went and worked in a cyber, that means this person is very proficient in computers, very proficient in operating printers and fax machines and, emails and etc. whatnot. And those are the tiny things that qualify someone. And you see, not everyone wants to work in an office. That is true.
Yes.
Not everyone wants to rely on a pay slip or put on that suit and go to the office. Our generation is more broad, and people want to start their own businesses. People want to, as everyone has said here, have a side hustle.
Yes.
And aside from volunteering and seeking attachment or internship, also I believe apprenticeship goes a long way. What do I mean when I say apprenticeship? If you want to, say for example, start a hardware business,
Yes.
and currently you are not in school, or you have just finished campus, and that is a desire that you have, go and ask. There's so many businesses in Kitengela that you can just approach someone and tell him, can I kindly work under you? You get to know where the supplies are gotten, how they deal with credits, how they custom in prices. You see, those tiny nitty-gritties. Apprenticeship, working closely with someone, it's more like coaching and mentorship in business terms. So you find that by working with this person, you get to acquire skills. You get to know the ins and outs of that business segment, such that if you are desiring, say, to work in that in an industry that is closely related with hardware stuff and agriculture and stuff, you already have that knowledge that you couldn't get from school. You see? And for some of us, some of us youth who have not gotten the opportunity of joining campus, you can look for a business that you can work in, that those tiny businesses, sell mandazi, plant a farm. Nowadays, you can even grow skuma in a gunia, and you thrive in that. Very soon, you have a whole industry, Twiga Foods. The person who started Twiga Foods, it was a small desire that he had. He started with a small kitchen garden, and right now, He owns a whole company
I
that
know
is
him.
supplying people with vegetables.
Yes, yes.
The person who works fiber, everybody knows fiber, the animation,
Yeah,
the big
yeah,
person,
yeah,
Anita,
It's
Anita
fiber,
Nani.
the
And
Oro.
yes, that person did study web designs. He didn't study graphic design. It was a passion. So you see, at the end of the day, if you can't get that job, build your passion. Follow your dreams. Look for that other business that you can work in. But at the same time, keep your eyes out for other opportunities.
Yes.
As you work at this level or stage that you're in, open up your mind for more educational opportunities, such as, polytechnics that offer scholarships, these HELB loans that you can apply for education. People who have, while you're doing what you're doing, seek also to grow your networks, you see? Because not things that come on a silver platter, they don't apply and they aren't good. At the end of the day, when you look back, you won't say that this is out of my sweat. But if it is something you have been building, you will even enjoy, and you will gladly tell your kids that, you know what, there is benefit in working hard. As we have learned from the Bible, our opening verse in Proverbs, there are people who work hard, their work is rewarded by God. Because God can't look upon you and say, my son and my daughter is doing ABCD to build themselves and not bless you. He will. So as you study, as you wait to join campus, if you haven't, as you aspire to join campus, if, say, the funds are not there and you are trying to make ends meet, do it diligently and have a desire to grow. Skill growth is very important, both from a personal scale and from a career, from a career development scale. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, that's why Edwin said that, and also that scripture, I love that scripture that is in Ecclesiastes 9:10, that whatever you find to do it with might, right? Because where you are heading, there is no work to be done, and that is in the grave. Sally, did you work before, or you started working after school?
Just like Sheila, I also invested in, or I got experience prior to graduation. I did attachments. I volunteered a lot in school. I did a lot of extra things. I found myself just reflecting on all the things I've done, and I was just shocked. But yeah, I volunteered in a lot of diverse activities with student clubs.
And you should let them know that being a volunteer, that means with no pay.
Oh yeah,
right.
it means with no pay. There is absolutely no pay. Do not expect when you go into.
You did it for how long?
When you go into volunteering, really have the mindset of you're not looking for money.
Yes.
But yeah, I'd say I volunteered for quite some time. I have volunteered as a first aider with St. John Ambulance. I have also spent a good amount of time volunteering with student clubs and student organizations in just diverse areas. I've worked in hospitals, volunteering too. So yes, the experience is healthy. One, because for me, I think I have learned better to engage with people. I don't think I've been growing up, it was a strong suit for me, engaging with people and working with other people. So that is one of the pluses that came with that. I grew a lot of interests in the process, and part of the ideas that I have found myself pursuing now for my career and professional life have very much been informed by the experiences that I got through my volunteering engagements. So yeah, it goes a long way. Even currently, as I work as an accountant, I did do an attachment in an accounting position for some time, which led me, kind of in a way found me where I am right now. But even as I work where I am, I'd like to just build up on what has been emphasized with respect to building your skills. And in the sense that, for me, I have come to appreciate that your professional life, your career choices and what have you are often or should be informed by what God is calling you to do. So that when you have clarity as to purpose, when you have clarity as to what God is leading you to do and how you are participating in the manifestation of the kingdom of God, how you are exercising dominion in the area of calling that you have had, then that now begins to inform the career paths you take, and even your mindset as you do the little things that are building up, the little rabbits that you're knocking out, even as you build up to catching or, I don't know, coming face to face with an elephant. and for me, the route should be have clarity. Okay, it may not be as clear as day, but just have a sense of where it is that God is guiding you to, where God is intending to use you. When we talk about legacy, for example, we talk about legacy in the sense that, when you're 50 plus, that's when you're building your legacy, but you have to be thinking about that legacy as early as now.
Yes.
You don't build that legacy when you're 50. You build that legacy right now as you edge towards 50. And then when you're 50 and you're old and you're gray, people will be like, Sally was like this. We appreciated her for A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and all of that.
Legacy is built by many things that you have done since you are youth.
Exactly. So those little things, before you can do them, have to be informed but by what you're seeing. 50 years down the line, what are you seeing? What is your vision? What is that purpose? What is the calling? So that information now informs you as to how you go through the process. It helps with the mindset as you go through the process, because at the end of the day, you come to realize that everything does add up. All things do work together for good. It all ties in, and then makes sense when you look back.
So you can tell the viewer that the things you volunteered yourself into, they benefited into your life in one way or the other.
Yes, they did. They greatly did.
They did.
Yeah.
So it's good to give yourself.
It is good to give yourself, and even just as the example we've gotten from Edwin, those small experiences gave him an edge in his professional career, and put him at a better position to even handle a managerial position.
Yes.
And not go through the intermediate position. So yes, they make a world of difference.
And
a lot of employers do look for those little things, because they also say that you are willing to learn.
Yes.
Yeah.
I believe our viewers today, you might understand that will take long than usual. We will be recording this for 2 hours, so that we'll be having this program will be aired on Thursday, this coming today, and then next week, Thursday, we'll be continuing with our discussion. So I want you to understand that we'll be doing this for 2 hours today. And then next week, not the coming week, but next week, we'll be continuing with the same. So I want to continue and ask something here. How can we invest? How can we invest in our passion? Once there was somebody who said, if your vision doesn't scare you, it is not big enough, right? If your vision doesn't scare you, it is not big enough. So how can you invest in your passion instead of just being idle? Because right now we have people, they have graduated, maybe some they didn't even manage to continue with their studies, but we have seen several number of people doing great in the world. And we should notify our viewers that today we have been blessed with a heavy rain, and we want you just to bear with us. The Lord has decided to bless us with a very heavy rain out there. So maybe our sound might be distracted a little bit, but just listen to us and you will get something out of it. So how can we explain that from Edwin? How can you invest in your passion?
Okay. The issue of passion, I think, to begin with, it has been so much misused. Misused in the sense that there are people who mistake what passion is and what they actually really prefer doing, or what they relate with. And passion is something, in business world, what they define as passion is something that you can do continually without being paid. and not feel bad about it. You know, because Kenya wase wengi yu taka, pasiaja niongeleshe vijana. Kenya wase wengi yu taka. Niko na passion ya kuimba. Sawa? Nataka niimbe leo, nitoe CD, nikikamchacha hapa, nipe pasta na inunue. You know? But then acha tukumbuke kitu moja. When we tell us ourselves that Biblia inasema before I knew you, I called you, right? And I consecrated you. You know? Ni God ndiye anajua amekupatia hiyo passion. Mimi sijui. God alikuwa amecall David, lakini hata Samuel mwenye ni prophet mwenyewe hakuwa anajua calling ya ukingi iko ndani ya David.
Yes.
Where am I going to? Ni kwamba until you bring an output is when I can tell what you are exactly worth and what you are passionate about.
Yes.
You know? So usikamu niambie manze mimi niko na passion. Ama usikamu ambie mzee niko na passion ya kuimba. Unajua? Then there is totally nothing to show for it. So, and before passion yako, whatever hiyo kenye tunaita passion, before passion yako hata ianze kukupay. Unajua? Acha nitumie passion nini entertainment hiyo music ndio tumika sana kama passion. Before hiyo passion yako ianze kukupay, because the moment imeanza kupay, we have seen what happens to a lot of musicians. They get money and you know, before it starts even paying you, even God has to test your capacity. Because a preacher I listened to, I think it's Miles Monroe, who says, God will not give you what you want. He will give you what you can manage.
Yes.
Now, how does God know that you can manage this? Is by telling you, don't despise the small beginnings, you know. Then he's also telling you that you have to build. With whom much is given, much is expected. So, sahi na yo passion yako, whatever it is, you have to start by making sure that you are willing to work on it, not necessarily with pay, but then you build your capacity. So that when you can tell Pastor Ndirangu, ama when you come here, I'm sure hata hapa church, si kila mtu you come tu anapewa mic, day one asimame hapo lead prayer. Sindio?
Yeah, true.
So it is good to have a knowledge of your passion, that I'm passionate about this, you know. But then, as I said, you must be willing to start working on it and building it. Because people will not pay you because you love what you're doing. People will pay you because they value the output that you give them.
Yes.
So work on building that value, then it will pay.
Yes. Brian, you are still a student. You are learning about accounting and also being a teacher. How can you add more value on what you are learning right now?
Okay. Teaching, and at the same time being an auditor, and at the same time being a designer. These three, also there is somehow part of portion that I can say I have passion on them, because there are other things that which I like doing most, and this counts to my passion. Like designing and auditing, that is my area more so. I like just doing them. Whenever I'm free, I can just find myself. Even this auditing in the house, you can just find me telling each and everything that was bought since that time till now. Then doing each and everything that pertains auditing. Then when it comes to this designing, I just go to the internet, download some apps, download some stuff, then just find out how does those things operate, how are they made. Then I come to a conclusion that this must be done when one has passion. And to make more of it interesting is because I personally, I was created by God, and God had a solution to my problems. And every time I get a problem, there is nowhere to run to apart from God. And that always gives me some encouragement to do what I know is best for me. Because as a Christian background, which I was brought up in, I know that everything that we can come along and do them, they should be right within the presence of God. And anything that is illegally should not be done within my reach. So, as an investment and how to invest in passion, the first thing I can say is about how smart are you. When you are smart, you will get to know or do your passion at a greater percentage. Because you can only do what you like and take much of time in what you like to gain more experience, right? So, if I can say about investment and the auditing and the teaching part of it, is that there is a time when I can manage the two, but again, the two can also be somehow hectic because of too much time is needed to get one to know. Sorry? Too much time is needed to transfer knowledge from one person to another. That is being a teacher. Yeah. Just like my brother Festus has said. Because when we want to do one thing, you must take time. And passion and time, they must go together. You cannot advise me on the same, saying that I like doing what other people do when you don't have time for those things. And when I can drive this home is because what I can say about the same is when you have passion, go for what you want to do in life. Go for that thing that makes you happy when you do it. And that is the main thing that when we want to come out of this cocoon of we have learned, we now have to invest. We must invest in what we know is best for us to, even though they don't pay us, but we must learn from them.